Morning, delighted that Arsenal have finally got this over the line. It's been a long time in the making. We've been hearing about Arsenal's kind of need for a number nine for quite some time. It seems to be the general consensus that that's been the missing piece for Arsenal for a little while now. There was a lot of speculation over the course of the summer. You know, Arsenal were linked with multiple centre forward options. In the end, they decided on Viktor Gyokeres, and despite a long drawn out process and at times a frustrating one, Arsenal have finally got their man, and I think we're all delighted and really excited by the prospect of what he can bring to this team.
Yeah, what do you think he is going to bring to this side, Harry?
Well, the obvious thing is goals, right? Everybody talks about the need for an out-and-out number nine at Arsenal, and obviously Viktor Gyokeres is that. You look at his goal record over the last couple of seasons, which is exceptional, but you've got to be realistic as well. I think it's unfair to expect him to deliver the same volume of goals here in the Premier League as he did in Portugal. It's a step up in terms of the standard. It's a step up in terms of the league, and I think people need to be mindful of that. I think he will add probably 15 to 20 league goals. And if he could make it sort of 25 in all competitions, I think that would represent a pretty good first season. But for me, it's not just about the goals. And that's why maybe my expectation and maybe what I'm demanding personally is a little bit lower than other people. I think having an out and out number nine is going to facilitate the players around him as well. It's going to give Bukayo Saka that little bit of extra space. It's going to give Martin Odegaard that space and whoever's playing on that left hand side as well. I think Arsenal will have a focal point in their attack for the first time in a long time. And I know Kai Havertz has done an admirable job at number nine and brings other things to the Arsenal team. There's no question about that. I'm not seeking to downplay his effect, but sometimes you watch Arsenal build up, you watch them get into situations, create situations, and you're sitting there going, if only we had a poacher, if only we had somebody who was doing his best work inside the penalty area and was in the right place at the right time. And it feels like Viktor Gyokeres can be that. Plus, physically, there's no doubt in my mind that he'll be able to cope with the change in league. And I think that's one of the big things, isn't it? When you come from abroad to the UK, it's can you handle the kind of blood and thunder of the Premier League? And having played in English football before, I think Viktor Gyokeres is well equipped to deal with that.
Yeah, he absolutely excelled in the Championship as well, didn't he? As well as Portugal. Now, when we look at the race for the Premier League title, it's such fine margins, isn't it? Do you think that he could be the difference for Arsenal?
I think he could potentially be, but I think we learnt last season that there are so many variables to football that, you know, it's difficult to sit and make kind of predictions like that and say, well, now you've got X player, it means you're going to win the league. I think, you know, you've got to be good as a collective. That's the most important thing. You need to have a little bit of luck along the way in terms of injuries. I certainly felt that we learned that lesson last season, losing key players at key times, and not just one or two of them, but you know, in the end, having a squad that was down to the bare bones. And the knock-on effect of that is that you end up with the players that you do have available, essentially running them into the ground. So I'd like to think that Viktor Gyokeres will make the difference. He will definitely improve Arsenal. There's no question about that. And so will some of the other signings that Arsenal have made. It feels like they've added some depth this summer, and they've built a squad that is much more equipped now for rotation. And I think rotation is probably what Arsenal haven't done enough of over the last couple of years. They haven't been quite as effective as some of the other teams in doing that. So to be able to do that, I think is going to be key to keeping people fit. And Gyökeres improves the attack. There's no doubt about that. So I guess if you want to say it could be the difference, then yeah, why not?
You said it, Harry, not me. So look, what do you make of Arsenal's business so far this summer?
Yeah, I think it's been good. They've brought in some players that I think will raise the level. Gyökeres being one of them. Martin Zubimendi, I think, is the other big signing that's maybe gone under the radar a little bit, because Arsenal fans were aware of the interest and the fact that it was at quite an advanced stage for such a long time. Maybe there hasn't quite been the same hype and buzz around that one for that reason. But he's one of the top midfielders in Europe. We've got a glimpse of him already in the second half of our pre-season friendly against Milan the other day, and he was brilliant. And I think people are really excited about him. Norgard improves the squad. Mosquera improves the squad. Kepa also improves the squad. And then the other one is Noni Madueke, and that feels like a bit of a rolling of the dice for me from Arsenal. I have to admit, when I first heard that we were linked with him, I was a little bit surprised, and I wasn't sure if that was the best use of the money. the more I study the player, the more I look into what he's good at, the more I think he kind of ticks a box for Arsenal and brings something that they were missing, that creativity and spontaneity and directness at times from in and around the box. So I think that's one that I think the jury's still going to be out on for a while, but let's welcome him with open arms and fingers crossed he can do the business too. And if he does, then you're looking at this as a very, very strong Arsenal transfer window. But for me, they need one more.
What is that one more, Harry, that they need?
For me, it's simple. It's Eberechi Eze. Go and get him from Crystal Palace. Go and pay the release clause. Do whatever it takes. Bring him in because when I talk about a lack of spark at times in the final third, which we definitely saw last season, and a lack of creativity, he would bring that in an abundance. And I think he's really developed under Oliver Glasner as a player. I love the way he makes runs into the penalty area now. He doesn't just do his best work outside of it. He's also really good at box crashing these days. And I think that makes him a perfect fit for this Arsenal team. Add to that, he can play from the left. I know it's not his preferred position, but he would bring Arsenal something different from that side. He can also play in the central areas as well. And I think if you're Arsenal and you're wondering whether or not that's a good use of funds, I think his versatility and all the qualities that he possesses make him a really good fit. So come on, Arsenal, go and get him.